Hi, in today's video we will explore the pack and unpack blocks. These blocks are essential when it comes to efficiently managing data and signals in your designs. We will be covering 6 different varieties of these blocks, that is the pack bus, dynamic pack, unpack, unpack bus, and dynamic unpack blocks. Each of these blocks serves a specific purpose, and depending on the design requirements, you can leverage them to optimize your workflow. By the end of this video, you will have a solid understanding of how to use these blocks to meet the specific needs of your design when dealing with individual data streams or complex buses. Whether you're new to SystemVue or looking to refine your skills, this tutorial will guide you through everything you need to know on how to pack and unpack data and signals. Let's get started. The first block I'll be talking about is the pack block, and you can see the block right here. This for a bit sequence 111000 that is being fed through this block right here, as you can see in this example. You can see it's taking is the input to this pack block. However, the input can be anything. We're just using this as an example. And there are 2 options for that you can select for the pack block to set the format in which the data is being presented at the output. And the first format is the row major, which allows you to fill the columns first. And you can see the input B stream coming through here. And when we choose the row major first, it will fill the columns first. And that's why we have this matrix coming out. On the other side, when we set the format to column major, then it fills the rows first. So it fills all the rows, then move to the next row, then to the next row. So that's the example. Let me share with you one of the examples I put together. This is just a simple feature to show you how this unpack block actually works. So in this case, if I set the format to column major, and I can run the simulation, and you see the results coming through here. It's changing, so it will fill the rows first before moving to the next row. And now if I set the format to row major and run the simulation again, then it will fill the columns first before moving to the next column. Okay. All right. So now the next block is the pack bus. This is similar to the pack block that I described earlier. The only difference is this pack bus can take multiple inputs, and in SystemVue we call it bus. So if you have signals or data streams coming from different inputs, you can create a bus which is indexing all the inputs coming through here into one block. That's the input right here. And this pack bus is going to pack each of these into a matrix depending on which format we've chosen. And of course, when we choose row major, it will fill the columns first before the next column. And when we choose the column major, it will fill the rows first. And the example I have here is shown right here. So when we select the row major format, of course, if I run the simulation again here, it will retain the same matrix at the output. But when I change it to the other type, which is column major, then the data or the bitstream is going to be fed row first before the next row. And now the next block is the unpack block. So in this case, we're using the MATLAB script function to create the matrix at the input, which is in this format. That's the matrix. And in this case, this unpack block is going to unpack the matrix into B streams or to signal. And depending on the format that we choose, when we choose the row major format, this will unpack columns first. That is, it will unpack all the first column first before moving to the next column according to the arrow right here. And you can see the output B stream is the rows first, the columns first before the next row, and of course it goes on and on and on like that. However, when we choose the column major format, it will unpack the rows first, and you can see this is the output of the B stream right here, 10 10 10, which is exactly what we have right here. Okay, so the next block is the Unpack Bus block. So this is similar to the Pack Bus. Of course, the B stream is being fed directly. You can see the output here. This means you can output multiple outputs, and this is a bus. Of course, we can index all the bus coming out here into individual output or sinks, and that's what we've done here just to see what is happening. And for the input matrix, which is being fed by this MATLAB script, of course it can be any matrix. When we choose the row major format, then all the buses are fed individually, and you can see it will unpack the columns first. So you see 1 1 1, which is this, all the blocks outputs here, and 0 0 0, and the other one. On the other side, when we choose the column major format, of course it will unpack the rows first, and that's why we have all the individual sinks have 1 0 1 0 1 0 accordingly, as shown in this output bus right here. And lastly, just to touch on the dynamic pack and the dynamic unpack blocks, of course, is similar to the pack and the unpack blocks, but the only difference, of course, is you have to feed the rows and columns from an external input or output, whatever the case may be. And there are different applications. So generally, the pack and the unpack blocks tend to lend themselves very easily to phased array type application. So if you're getting in multiple inputs for your going to your antenna, you want to do one or two things in between, you can pack or unpack depending on what the requirement is. But in this case, just to show you a few examples of other places that the pack and the unpack blocks can be used. In this example is showing how you can search or select the modulation type, and you can see in this case we're using the dynamic pack block, which is selecting the modulation type based on the value that we choose for this constant here, and by so doing we can search and select the exact type of modulation format that goes into this mapper. Another example, apart from the phased array option, is for radar applications. This is an excerpt from one of the examples in SystemVue, and you can see here we are packing using dynamic pack block based on the PRI number, in this case 1000, 10,000 actually, being used to pack the matrix or the B stream or the signal coming through here into matrix, and of course we are unpacking them again for that signal processing. Okay, so these are examples of where you can use dynamic and pack and dynamic unpack blocks. Okay, so that's it for this video. See you next time. Thank you. Bye.